Hey everyone, how you doing? You'll have to excuse me. I got a head cold, so it's really kicking my butt. So if I'm not making any sense, just bear with me. All right. Well, I was tagged by my buddy Sousaville on what knife I would carry as an EDC when the shit hits the fan type scenario. Well, I live in a rural area, so that's a whole different ball game than being in an urban area. And thankfully, I am in a rural area. But so what I need in a knife is a little bit different than somebody would need in a urban type environment. Do I have lots of fences to go through? No. I can only think of one major chain link fence in 10 miles of my house. But so the type of fences I have to worry about would be electric fences, like around a pasture, like a farmer's pasture for his cows. And those are pretty easy to disable. But the knife I chose, after going through all my knives and careful thought, was the Cold Steel GI Tanto. You know, it's a $30 knife. It's kind of a disposable blade, but when I ordered it, I was like, okay, well, let's see what $30 gets me. Well, I'm actually pretty impressed with this blade. It's got a really nice sheath. It locks in there really well. It's actually it's almost too tight, but which is not a bad thing. You know, it's not gonna fall out of there. So, but here, let's get this thing out. Kind of hard to do that one-handed, but it does have the Tanto tip on it, which is great for piercing. We have stabbed this through 3/4 inch plywood. We've thrown it and stuck it through some 3/4 inch pine, and we've stabbed it through metal. This has been a great knife. We've batoned with it. We've just really beat the crap out of this thing, and I'm surprised for $30 just how well it's held up. Every once in a while you come across something that is probably worth more than what you bought it for. And that's how I feel about this Cold Steel knife. It's not a bad production knife, but holds an edge quite well. I've only sharpened it maybe twice in 6 months, and it's gotten a lot of use. So really, I mean, in a rural type environment, what do I need it for? I need it for self-defense. I need it for processing wood for fire, maybe to harvest food. If I needed to get into a house, for supplies, I could do that with this knife. If I needed to break glass, the pommel end, it's full tang. It's one big hunk of steel. Wouldn't take much at all. So between this and the pyro gear that I would bring with me, it would be virtually impossible for me to not be able to obtain the goal that I had set out to achieve. As a fighting knife, this is a great fighting knife. Like if you're sitting there slapping blades with a guy, these little guards here are there for a reason. They're there to protect your hands. So if a blade comes down the spine, and it's going to stop it right here. It's not going to cut your hand, which is a nice feature. If you're having to, say you're boxing, you're punching with the guy, and you got your knife out, put it in a reverse grip. It feels good. It's comfortable. It's got plenty of blade length to make those slicing type cuts, arteries, whatever. But we don't need to get into that. That's a whole nother talk. But anyway, thank you, Sousaville, for tagging me. This is the knife I would bring. I did try to tag a couple guys. They're a little uncomfortable with it. But we'll see what happens in the next week or two. They just might post a video. We'll see. But between you and Smoke Eater, you guys pretty much covered all the bases. So thanks again, and we'll talk to you later.